Hey guys, Utah Steve here, back for another video, finally, a new one. If you watched my MRE videos in the past, you know that I like to repackage these, put them in a Ziploc bag to save weight and trash for when I go on an actual outing. And I've done a series in the past called What's in My MRE. This continues that series, but I have something kind of unique today. A buddy of mine at work, he used to be a deputy sheriff, and when he was out in the west desert of Utah with the fire department and the sheriff's department fighting wildfires, they used to supply them with these MREs, and he's had them sitting in his garage for years. These are probably from the, I'd say, 2000s. So these could be as much as 15 to 20 years old, this one. This is chili and macaroni, menu 21. He gave me a bag of these. I have a few different kinds, but I thought it would be interesting today to compare menu 21 chili and macaroni from 15 to 20 years ago with menu 10 chili and macaroni, which is the modern new version of the same MRE. It'd be interesting to cut these open and compare side by side how things have changed over the last few years, and also, of course, repackage the new one. I don't know that I'll be trying to eat anything in this. I'll just have to see what it looks like. I might actually try. We shall see. But let's tear into these and find out what changes have taken place over the last several years. And what I'm going to do is cut open one and then the other, and we'll just take everything out all at once and just compare it side by side that way. This is my little neck knife I got off Amazon. It's blue, of course. I love blue. And I don't use it for anything outdoorsy. I'm just going to use it for this. Initially, when you pull it out, here's what we're looking at. It's not all in one bag like it usually is in these newer ones, but everything looks to be in good shape. We'll go ahead and cut this one open. There we go. See, this is how it's done now. Everything's kind of all in one sealed plastic bag. Whereas you can see here, this is kind of all over the place. None of it is sealed up. This is a lot more efficient. Holds everything together nicely. We'll go ahead and open the new one so we can get a better feel for what's in here. And we're just going to go item by item. I have no rhyme or reason to this video. I just kind of playing it by ear, so bear with me. I had to change locations really quick. The sunlight I thought would be good on the cedar chest over there by my window, but apparently it was kind of flooding things out. So you can see a little better here. Here's the old MRE, here's the new one. And the old one, of course, comes with my nemesis, cheese spread with jalapenos. I can tell you by touching this, this is almost turned into like a crusty powder. There's no way I'm going to be eating that. I wouldn't eat it even if it was fresh because I can't stand the cheese. If you've watched these videos before, I love the peanut butter. I loathe the cheese. So we'll set that aside. We'll see if anything like that is in the new MRE. The answer is no. There is no cheese or peanut butter that I can see in the new version of this. So that's different. We have some Twizzlers nibs in the new one. I've never seen that before in an MRE. They're kind of hard, and I'm not a fan of licorice. My kids will probably get these. But by comparison, we have Skittles in the old MRE that frankly look and feel just fine. Limited edition ice cream flavor inside. Interesting. Is there an expiration on this? Alright, so now we can date this. These Skittles are dated expiration best before July of 2007. So it has been 15 years, probably longer, since that's the expiration date, which means this was made before that. These I might actually try. They feel alright. They haven't liquefied or anything. We'll see what they look like when we get to it. We also have oatmeal cookies in the old MRE. We might try those. I don't know. Some of this depends on what it looks like when I open it. So there are the oatmeal cookies. By comparison, we'll see if there's anything in the new one. Okay, in the newer version, it looks like the dessert is a spice pound cake, which I know is delicious already. I've had that before. So we're going to hang on to that. I'm not going to open or try any of the new one. I want to actually use the newer one on an outing. Very different from each other so far. Here's my spoon with the new one. Here's the spoon with the old one. If you want to compare them side by side, the newer spoon and the older spoon have not changed. They are virtually identical. Yeah, they haven't changed at all. Okay, we have wheat snack bread in the old MRE. You see it there? Okay, in the new version, there is no wheat bread. Wheat snack bread. Does not exist. No kind of bread at all. Okay, here's our heating element. That hasn't changed much. That looks practically the same, as you can see, side by side. Old versus new. In the old one, we have beverage base raspberry. And by comparison, we have, now this is going to be sugar-free. You can tell because it's a smaller packet. And by comparison, in the new one, we have carbohydrate, electrolyte, beverage powder, fruit punch. And that is going to have sugar in it. Oh, really? Cheese spread with jalapenos. They gave me 2 of these. There's 2 of these in here. And oddly, this one does not feel quite so powdery and crumbly. This one does. That's strange. Cheese spread with jalapenos, cheese spread with jalapenos. For some reason, 2 of them in this older MRE. Here's the beverage bag that I never use for really anything. And of course, we've probably got that here as well. There it is. Now, one difference I've noticed already is in the newer ones, you have this cooking sleeve and you put the main entree, which is right here, into the heating element and starts heating it up, and you tuck it inside this sleeve and everything is cooked that way. Our main entree with the old one is already in a box. Kind of unnecessary packaging. It gives some tips and suggestions here. Food, water, exercise are tactical weapons, and it gives some suggestions on how best to take care of yourself. So here is the chili mac. It actually feels pretty good. It's still in foil. It doesn't feel thick or gross. So I might actually try this. We might actually tear into that. By comparison, here's the newer one, and it actually feels more solid and thick. And here's the size comparison. I don't think this has probably changed much. All we're down to now in the old one is accessory pack, which I'll tear into in a minute. The newer one also comes with a beef stick. I've had these before. It's like a beef jerky, but it's kind of, it's not my favorite. I'm not crazy about these. I'll eat them, I'll tolerate them, but they're not awesome. And it also comes with crackers, vegetable crackers, which I guess could be compared to the old one, the old version coming with the wheat snack bread. Personally, I'm sick of these crackers. I've fed them to squirrels and chipmunks and birds. I get so many of these stockpiled in every MRE. This would have actually been refreshing to have in the newer one, if you ask me. Now we're going to do a side-by-side comparison of accessory packs. I can already see a significant difference. The old one came with spiced cider, which is awesome. I wish these did. I haven't seen that except maybe once in a modern MRE. So we're going to tear that open. We're just going to dump that out. We have spiced cider. We have our standard toilet paper that doesn't look like it's changed at all. I don't know why it would. A towelette that still actually feels like it might be moist in there. We have some salt, some matches. Let's see if these still work. I'm sure they do. They haven't been exposed to anything. So I'm sure the matches still work fine. Yep. Still got it. Still got it, baby. And now we also have some ground red pepper. You read that? There we go. Ground red pepper. Spice up your chili mac. And some gum. I think they both comparatively seem to have an equal amount, but definitely different items. This is not as easy to open either, the newer one. All right. Here we have creamer. Now, in this other accessory pack, the older one, there is no coffee or creamer. So this comes with creamer. It comes with, of course, a towelette, which I'm sure is fine. Also feels fine. Salt. I get so many of these salt packets, and frankly, these MREs are so salty anyway. I don't know what you would use this for. I really don't. Maybe you have a toothache, you could swirl it in some hot water. I don't know. Sugar. Not something you see in every modern MRE. A lot of times they replace this with Splenda or something similar. Artificial sweetener. So here's the coffee. This is coffee instant type 2. They have different types. I don't know the differences. Many of you probably do. I know there are differences, but there is no coffee or creamer or sugar in this one. Here's our toilet paper, our gum, and our matches. Okay. So by comparison, they're kind of similar. I actually like what's in the older one better. I like the Skittles better than the Twizzlers. I like that this has cider in it, which is a warm, comforting, energizing drink. Coffee and creamer, I'm not a big coffee drinker, so I'm just kind of indifferent to it. It's not to say I've never used it on the trail, but this sounds a lot more inviting to me. Something sweet and warm and fruity. I don't know. Just sounds more comforting to me. Coffee tends to make me really agitated and give me anxiety. I think most of this MRE, this older one, is still okay. All of this stuff is probably still okay. I don't trust the cheese. And there's no beef stick in here, so there's no 100-year-old beef stick to try. So I think I will be sampling these in this video. Over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to package up in a Ziploc bag what I want to actually take on the trip with me. That eliminates the outer packaging and the extra things like this that I don't need to carry. It adds weight and garbage, and I just don't need it. So I am going to use the main entree, obviously. What I'm not going to take, surprisingly, this year I'm doing things different. I refuse to take these heating elements with me. If you watched my videos all through 2021, you know that I had nothing but trouble with these things heating up properly. They either did a really great job or most of the time barely got the main entree warm enough, and I ended up folding this in half, sticking it in my cook pot, and boiling it in water to heat it through, which worked excellent. So I'm not going to take these on these trips with me in 2022, in case you're wondering. I do like to include the spoon, even though I bring my own spork, and that's because these things have come in handy for various reasons. We'll just remove the plastic and tuck it in that way. Crackers. I'm going to bring these with. I basically have given all of my crackers away to the animals when I've been camping or backpacking or whatever, especially if you watched my trip to Watson Lake. You probably saw me feed chipmunks and gray jays in the Uinta Mountains. They loved these much more than I do. But the difference is this says crackers vegetable. A lot of those were just the plain white, dry, bland crackers. So this one might be different. So I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna tuck it in here with the rest. The beef snack. Now here's the thing with these unnecessary packaging. See, this could have easily been just tucked in there without that extra garbage. So I'm going to just put it in like that. They're not my favorite, but I'll eat them. I will definitely use the electrolyte fruit punch. It's nice to sit down and have a drink at the end of a long hike, especially something with electrolytes. So we'll go ahead and tuck that in. That's fine. That can come with. The pound cake will definitely come with. I love this spiced pound cake. It's quite delicious. I will not be bringing the Twizzlers, and that is because I don't eat a lot of candy even on the trail. Maybe a Snickers or something like that, but I'm not a licorice fan. So I'm gonna let my kids have this when I get home from school. These things are tough, man. I don't know. It's kind of strange because the old MRE has these Skittles from the 2000s that seem in a lot better shape than these Twizzlers are from more recent times. Anyway, I'll just give those to my kids. This MRE isn't very big, this Chili Mac one. And there we have our repackaged modern Chili Mac MRE. Okay, menu number 10. So we're going to set that aside for a trip. One thing I will say about this is it doesn't have as much in it, the modern one. Definitely doesn't. Sometimes I can split these MREs into two different meals. I can have some of it for dinner and I can save some of the remainder for a snack, and it just doesn't seem like it has quite as much in it. So I could see most of this being consumed in a meal. Not all of it, but most of it. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to throw away all this garbage over here, and we'll take a look at this old MRE. We'll reorganize this mess I've made, and we're actually going to try to eat some of this and see if it's any good. Okay, so what I've kept from the original MRE, surprisingly quite a bit. The only thing I chucked was the cheese. I don't trust it. I would have tried it even though I don't like it. I would have tried it on the wheat snack bread here, but I just don't trust it being that old. And the fact that it came with two was a bit odd. I think that may have been an accident. I'm not sure. I don't know how these are packaged, but that's my guess. Anyway, this seems okay. The main entree seems okay, at least by feel. I haven't looked at it. If it's green, I won't be eating it. I'm just going to open each one of these and try them a little bit at a time. As far as the rest of the stuff, the accessories and whatnot, I've kept what I needed to for my roll pack, like the toilet paper, the matches, the wipes, the salt. I have a basket in here. Let me show you real quick. So this is a basket I keep under my bed. It's got various kinds of ramen from different trips that I never used. There's a Cliff Bar in there. You know, you get the idea. Pretzels, peanut butter, whatnot. But what's really in here is a ton of accessory packs. You can see I've got lots of them here. I've got some hot sauce. This is how the hot sauce comes now in MREs. It doesn't come in the little tiny Tabasco bottle. I've got one somewhere. I don't know where it is. Anyway, I've got lots of cheese spread, which reminds me, my son is coming over today with his wife, and he's told me previously that he'll be happy to take these off my hands. So those are going to Ash. I still have tons of these. Look at all the crackers. Just so many crackers. They're just so bland and dry. So that's why I chose the vegetable crackers. Maybe they're different. Maybe they're better. I've got 4 packs here despite everything I got rid of through the last backpacking season, giving them to the animals. So just that's kind of what I do with everything. And then when it comes time to go on a trip, I will pack things up. What is this? See, I've even got some wheat snack bread in here. So when it comes time to go on a trip, I'll dig through this, see if there's anything I want to bring with, and then it goes right back under the bed. Anything that's left over from a trip, I throw it right back in the old basket and under the bed. And every time I go, I pull the magic basket out and see what I want to take with me. Anyway, let's put that away and get back to the MRE. Well, I'm outside now in my backyard, and I just want to see, just for the fun of it, whether or not this heating element from the 2000s still works. That would be interesting. I'm going to go ahead and just make it like I normally would, and if that fails, I'm going to just frankly take it in the house and heat it up in a pot. So we're starting with the main entree just because of that simple fact. I'm running out of daylight and I want to do this outside. Obviously I don't want to heat it up in the house. So let's go ahead and get started with this chili mac from roughly 2007, 2005, somewhere in that area. Go ahead and tear the top piece off, and of course, as usual, we're only going to fill the water between these two lines right here. I always struggle with that. I don't know if anybody else does, but I think I just put a tiny amount in and I look down and I've overfilled it. So I'll do my best here. Let's see. Yeah, see, that's too much. Okay, I think that's about right. Go ahead and slip this in. I will be amazed, to be honest, if this actually heats up. I'm feeling some warmth. It's definitely doing something. Now this is the sleeve from the newer MRE, because this older one didn't actually have one. So let's pop it in there. Sorry, I'm not watching what I'm filming. There we go. Yeah, oh man. I don't know if you can hear that. That's piping hot already. Really hot. So I'm gonna go ahead and set it here and just let it do its thing. This is what I remember from these older MREs, is how quickly and how efficiently these heaters worked. I don't know what's going on with the newer ones, at least the ones that I have on hand, but I have struggled to get the heaters to work at all. This heater is 15 years old and it's doing its job. Look how swollen that is. It's just, and it's super warm. We're only about 2 or 3 minutes in at this point. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes. I don't hear any more sizzling. Let's check it out and see if it heated all the way through. Oh yeah, that's quite warm. Okay. Oh yeah, that totally got heated. It's at least warm. It's not like hot, but it's definitely warm. Let's go ahead and tear it open and see what it looks like, and then I'll take it in the house. I don't like these pouches that have the notches on the side where you tear them this way. Much easier to eat out of if you tear them this way. It seems to be hit and miss with which MRE you get. So there you go. See if I can get it to focus. You see in there? Well, you can't quite see in there. Let's go in the house, get the spoon, and I'll give you a better look at this. Alright, kind of funny doing this in my bedroom, but it's the best I can do at the moment. Anyway, here is chili mac, 15-year-old chili mac from an MRE. Want some? That's what it looks like. The lighting in here is terrible, so I apologize, but we're gonna go ahead and try this 15-year-old MRE. Smells good. Smells a little weird. I hope I don't end up regretting this. That's actually really good. It doesn't taste bad at all. We'll find out later if it is. One thing I am noticing, if you look at it again, so what I'm noticing here is a complete absence of mac. There's chili, and I don't know if the pasta has broken down over the years, but there is no macaroni as far as the noodles go. I mean, this could be just broken down pasta. I don't know if it comes that way, but there's no macaroni noodles in this. So maybe some of you know what this should look like, if this is normal, or if it should have macaroni noodles in it. You'll have to let me know. Okay, once again, a change of scenery. I keep losing my good lighting in my house, and I don't have any special lighting techniques here at home. So usually I'm filming in the great outdoors. What I did is I moved the remainder of the MRE down here into my man cave, affectionately called the hut. If you want to see a tour of my man cave, my personal vlog is always down in the description, and there's a video on there that shows you around the room and kind of gives you an idea of what my man cave is all about. It has nothing to do with the outdoors, so it's not on this channel. Anyway, so what we're down to is the oatmeal cookies, the wheat snack bread, the Skittles, the apple cider, the beverage powder, and that's it. And I've got my spoon. I'm pretty sure all of these should be okay. You never know if something's gone rancid or doesn't taste good, so we're going to sit down and try them all. I've got some cold water here for the beverage mix. I've got some steaming hot water here for the cider. And so let's tear into it. So let's start with the oatmeal cookies. Life's too short, eat dessert first. We'll go ahead and tear into these and see what they look like and how they taste and how they smell. They're kind of a crumbly mess. Alright, so they're basically little tiny oatmeal cookies. What I really like about the new ones is when it says oatmeal cookie, you get one huge, like that big, oatmeal cookie, and it's super thick. And it's got chocolate chunks in it, and it's amazing. This is basically just a whole bunch of little tiny cookies. Surprisingly intact. Better than I thought they would be after 15 years. So we're gonna go ahead and try one. The chili mac, by the way, it's been a couple hours since I ate that. I'm fine. It was fine, it tasted fine. It's just weird that it didn't have macaroni in it. These are fine, but they're extremely bland. And I'm thinking, yeah, there is a strange tinge to them. I'm not going to finish eating them, but there's a strange aftertaste, incredibly strong cinnamon flavor. I think they were reaching for like ginger snaps or something. You can smell that they don't smell quite right. They're just, they're not stale. But they've got kind of an almost medicine-y aftertaste, which isn't normal. And I think a lot of the flavor's gone out of them. They would have used oils in this probably, and I think the oil's gone rancid. Yeah, soybean and or hydrogenated cottonseed oil, shortening. Yeah, they didn't hold up well over time, and I'm surprised. I would have thought the main entree wouldn't have held up well, but these would have. Yeah, thumbs down on that. It's too bad. I was really looking forward to getting the full experience, but what can you do after 15 years? These are no longer any good. So moving right along, we've got wheat snack bread. Now this is meant to go with the cheese that came with it, the 2 cheese packets that came with this. I threw those away. I could tell by squeezing the packet that they weren't soft and pliable. They were more, I almost want to say powdery inside. They were just not moist like they should have been. So I don't know what to expect from the bread now that I've tried the cookies. And that's a strange smell. It smells like spaghetti sauce. Here's what it looks like. It's not too much different than the way these are made now. It's a little different shape. About the same size though. I don't like the smell. It's like super strong tomato sauce. It's strange. I don't understand. Here's what the inside looks like. Want some? Here goes nothing. I'm not too thrilled about this, not because it's a wheat bread or anything, but that smell. It tastes okay. The texture's still good. It doesn't taste stale. That's really not bad. The wheat bread's decent. It just smells funny. Which is another reason I'm not going to sit here and eat the whole thing. But it doesn't taste like, you know, it's going to give me food poisoning or anything. It tastes fine. It's not awesome, but it does have a nice, nutty, whole wheat flavor to it. So, That smell really throws you off because you can't taste that when you eat it. You can't taste the smell. Anyway, that's that. I'm not interested in finishing that. Now these are interesting, these Skittles. It actually says limited edition ice cream flavor inside. And it says, as I said earlier, this expired in July of 2007. So there you go, limited edition ice cream flavor from the 2000s. I'm assuming that some of the flavors are regular flavors and then they just threw in the ice cream flavors. So I'm just going to pick out the ones that look like they're probably the ice cream flavored ones. Okay, there's grape, lime, orange, and strawberry ice cream. So here's what they look like. It looks like they've held up pretty well over time. This one's got some oozing coming out of it. And the grape is kind of discolored, but these are the strawberry ice cream flavor. So I'm just going to try the strawberry ice cream. I know what Skittles taste like. That was not a tooth. Yeah, these are, they eventually get chewy, but they're hard as a rock when you bite into them. That definitely tastes like strawberry ice cream. That's interesting. Kind of a cool idea. But there's no way you could just sit down and eat these like a fresh bag of Skittles. It's like sticking to my teeth. Bad. It doesn't have the right texture. You can pretty much tell these are 15 years old. The equivalent of candy being stale. If chewy candy goes stale, that's what that tastes like. I'm impressed with the flavor. It doesn't just taste like strawberry. It literally tastes like strawberry ice cream. It's got a creamy strawberry flavor. I like it. Strawberries and cream maybe. But it is reminiscent of ice cream. So, okay, all we've got left now is the spice cider and the beverage-based raspberry. I'm going to start with the cider because my hot water is getting cold. I just dropped my packet here. I'm going to put my glasses on because that's how blind I am without them. So here you go. Here's the spice cider. So far, the only thing that's been good in this MRE that's still edible, in my opinion, is the main course. And I don't even know if that was supposed to be macaroni or not. Here's what the back looks like. So 60 calories in a packet. I'm going to go ahead and dump it in the water, and hopefully it's not chunky style. It doesn't sound like it is. This should be okay, but I've been surprised by everything on this table. I thought this is the stuff that would hold up over time, and the main course might not be any good, and I had it completely backwards. So let's look at the powder. Woo! That smells, that doesn't smell quite right. If you've had spiced cider before, the warm drink, it almost smells fermented, and it's not a liquid, so yeah, that smells funny. Let me make sure there's no bugs crawling around in it. Don't know if you can see that very well. It's kind of dark in there, but there you go. We'll go ahead and pour that in. See how well it dissolves. I cleaned off my MRE spoon from the main entree. So there it is. It's stirred up nicely. There's nothing floating. Everything mixed in well. Hi, Crotch. How are you? That's really good. That actually tastes pretty good. No complaints from me about the cider. It just smelled funny. Just like the bread. The bread had a strange smell, but it tasted like fresh wheat bread. Yeah, that's weird. That's delicious. In fact, that makes me want to go buy some spiced cider at the grocery store, the envelopes, and take that with me on backpacking trips. That would be wonderful on a cold night in the mountains to be drinking this. This is fantastic. I really like this. I'm a fan. very natural to be drinking this around the campfire, or you know, hanging out by your tent, or maybe it's a rainy camp out and you're under the tarp watching it rain. You can just see it and hear it now, right? Kind of hard to with this environment, but so the instant apple flavored drink mix, it's basically apple cider, is pretty fantastic. I love this stuff. It's really good. So last but not least, we have the beverage based raspberry. I don't think this is going to be anything earth shattering, but we're going to try it anyway. So we'll just go ahead and there's a lot of air in this. Lots of air. Ooh, strong raspberry scent. Let's pour it in there. All right. Give it a nice stir. It looks like it's mixing okay. I don't see any floaties, but it smells kind of funny now that it's actually in the water. It smelled pretty normal at first, but now it kind of has a weird. It almost smells like alcoholic, like wine or something. I don't know. Oh, there are some floaties. This didn't mix quite as well. But even with the newer MREs, I always end up with something floating in the top. I'm just making sure none of it has wings on it. Okay, here we go. That's pretty good. That's sugar-free. But it doesn't really taste like it. It doesn't have that aftertaste. Of course, now we have Splenda and a whole variety of sugar-free sweeteners. This is probably just aspartame. Yeah, it is. It's aspartame. So NutraSweet, Equal, that kind of thing. But it's pretty good. It actually tastes a little bit grape, like grape raspberry. Not bad. Not bad at all. Doesn't taste sugar-free. I'm quite impressed. Okay, guys, that's it for this episode of What's in My MRE. Something a little different, where we actually got to compare side by side, old and new, and got to try pretty much everything in that MRE except the cheese. I just didn't feel good about it. So thanks for joining me, guys. We'll get out there on the trail soon enough. I have the newer MRE prepackaged and ready to go, so it's hard to say what's going to happen next. Stay tuned, and if you want to check out my personal vlog, that's down below. My Instagram is also down below. I take a lot of pictures on my outdoors adventures, and I don't show them in any of those videos. So if you really want to see the photographic end of my trips, Instagram is the place to go. I always post them right after the trip usually. So the pictures are on Instagram long before the video comes out. So if you want to go check that out, it's down below. I'd appreciate you following me. Maybe I'll follow you back. I don't know. Do yourselves a favor. Get off the couch, get outside and have some fun. The views are spectacular. Even though I'm on the couch and the view ain't so spectacular right now. And if you can't get outside, come along with me. I could use the company. And Scraps is going to be joining us this year too. So he could use the company too. Right, buddy? Excuse me. Gross. Alright guys, see you later.